Welcome to Band Bourbon and Cigars, where we discuss band stories. I tell you, boy, we some food. Band stories and life situations. I am the drum major of the podcast, Mr. Randy Anderson. We have the rock of the podcast, Mr. Herb Lenore, in the house. And listen, folks, let's not forget our most fancy flow in the house. Listen here, don't forget your hula hoop. She get you right, baby. She get you right. She get you right. Today we have a very special guest, as usual. Okay, this person here is a third-generation graduate of Kentucky State University, honors student of Whitney M. Young Honors College, participated in the Mighty Marching Thoroughbred and holds membership in Tau Beta Sigma National Honorary Band Sorority, a member of the Washington, D.C. chapter of the Kentucky State University National Alumni Association, an avid supporter of HBCUs, and it is a wonderful thing. This person is a co-founder of the Washington, D.C. Metro HBCU Alumni Alliance Incorporated, a nonprofit organization made up of local HBCUs alumni chapters in the D.C. Metro region. This person served as the Allegiance Director of the annual 5K Run, Walk, and Community Day for the last 4 years. Program manager of the USDA Farm Service Agency, where she manages a $3 billion program and promotes 1,890 land grants for universities. Hey, that's what's up right there. Yeah. This person is a mother of the smartest boy in the whole world. She is a breast and colorectal cancer survivor and uses her free time to support both causes. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I present to you, drum roll please, Miss Shayla.
Welcome. Hey everyone, how y'all doing? Welcome and thank you for joining us. Hello.
Hello. Did I do you right?
Yes, you did me right.
She's so calm. Yes, you did me right.
Yes, they're cute. You did good.
They're like, yeah, Red, thanks, man, you did it good. Yes, you did me right.
Oh, no, I'm sitting here like, that's a good job. No, I wouldn't expect nothing but the less. Nothing less.
That's what's up. Well, we got to always start it off and everything, right? The drum major got to do right. If the drum major ain't right, then everything else ain't right. You know how it goes. Got to get them whistles and things right. But how you been, Miss Shayla?
Been doing good.
Yeah, what you been up to? Besides all that work, I know you've been working. I know you work. You got about 5,000 jobs.
Yeah, my new job is a PTSA mom. I'm the vice president for the PTSA at my son's school. So,
okay,
gotta protect my investment.
That's right. Absolutely. Raise them up right from the beginning, man. Exactly. You don't have to do it when they get older.
Yeah.
That's right. Be involved. I wish that was one of the cases for most parents, man. You know what I mean? It is hard. I probably, out of 24 students that I have, I probably only talked to about 4 or 5 of them.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's sad too.
Yeah, a lot of them I still haven't even met.
Wow.
Right? And now these grades about to go out.
You'll hear from them.
That's when they're going to call me and then they want to cuss me out because they child got a D or something like that. Classroom, yeah.
F in your class. You ain't even let me know before now.
Mm-hmm. I done had a couple of them call me like, they ain't got no homework. Why you don't be sending no homework? I said, ma'am, check his bag. Mm. Check the bag. Man, work come home every day. No matter if it's saying homework or not, the work is coming home every day for you to check and then for you to go over it with your child.
And do you use like Class Dojo? I mean, because we stay in communication with our teachers. So there's no, they send emails, they send Class Dojo messages, and it's an app, that we can use to communicate. And I almost have to put it on mute sometimes. We're always getting some kind of alert, but it's not hard to, communicate and reach out.
That's exactly what's going on, is that the parents are putting it on mute. they don't even read it. So it's just like giving them a sheet of paper. You walk out there to the car, the homework and paper that I sent home in the note is on the back seat on the floor.
Oh, wow.
I don't read it.
Mm-hmm.
I had an unfortunate.
Herb, that's you, ain't it? That you heard?
Herb is the parents we talking about.
That's why he laughed.
I haven't checked my son's book bag because I mean there might be bananas or something in there, so I got to make sure it's taken out. So I'm going to be in the book bag every day.
I check the book bag, but I don't read that class dojo. If I get the word later, then I'll read it. But
Yeah.
Well, my school, we used to use something called Remind, which is like Class Dojo, and that's how we contacted parents. And I get all the remind notices for all of the buildings in my district. The high school, which I'm not affiliated with, but I get them in my email and I see, so I know what's happening there too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But parents I always try to give parents grace and just say that they're tired, they're busy, they're all of those things. But I am too, you know, I'm too, but it's a matter of priority.
That's it. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. So, Miss Shayla, we were just talking a few minutes ago, and I just learned something about you. Mm-hmm. I thought you was a Frankfurt local, and just found out that you're not a Frankfurt local. Can you mind explaining that to us a little bit?
Technically, yes, I am a local because I graduated from high school in Frankfurt, but I moved around a lot when I was younger. So I wasn't born in Kentucky at all, but I moved around. We lived in Ohio, we lived in Indiana, you know, and came back to Kentucky. But I was born in Mississippi, actually. But I graduated. Yeah, I went to school in Cleveland Heights, Ohio, right before I moved back to Kentucky. So,
okay,
but I've been around.
Okay, that's what's up. Well, you know, we're gonna go ahead and get started and everything like that. Usually, we have on Miss Fancy. She'll start us off and things like that. Ask you a couple of questions, and then we'll just flow from there.
Okay.
Okay. Well, first question we have here for you is, what are some of the pressing matters that keep you awake during the late hours?
Ooh, the pressing matters. I think if anything, it involves my son. And I just, you know, I'm a single mother now. Been divorced for almost 4 years. 4 years and several months now. But I just want to make sure I'm doing the best job that I can to take care of him. He's twice exceptional, which means he is on like high functioning on the autism spectrum, but he's also highly gifted. So I got to keep him entertained all day long, keep him, you know, academically stimulated. He's actually skipped him a year in school just to keep up with him. Yeah. So it's just making sure I'm the best mom I can be. Like I like to do volunteer work, but I also want to make sure that he knows I'm available to him and, you know, work a full-time job. So, you know, it's hard to balance sometimes. And then, you know, you're tired at the end of the day. You don't want to check Class Dojo messages, but you have to make sure those little people come first.
Right.
So, saying that, what would be what would be an advice that you would give a first-time parent that's learning or that don't know that this is what's going on with their child? How did you find that out? What was your emotional part of in the beginning? How did all that go about?
Mm-hmm. I think at first I didn't see it at all because we went through COVID. He was born before COVID, and then he was a toddler. And, you know, because of my illness when he was first born, he went to smaller daycares. So he was not around a lot of kids. I didn't see the interaction. He was around basically my niece for the most part. And the only thing I noticed was how he would line his cards up. And I would always post little Facebook messages about Showroom Sharp by, you know, courtesy of Mark James. But it wasn't until like I started having difficulties getting him potty trained. He knew how to count like when he was 2, 3, you know, I would see him counting with the recording on the phone. He taught himself like Russian. So I'm thinking he's just advanced, you know. It wasn't until he got into like a social setting with another daycare when I moved to Maryland. And, you know, nobody can come out and just tell you, oh, we think your child might be on the spectrum. They tell you, you know, I started asking questions myself. He'd have meltdowns trying to get his hair cut, little things, you know, but nothing really severe. So it's just really when he got into kindergarten. That's when when I knew there might be something socially, you know, academically you're here, but socially you're not getting the cues, understanding, taking turns, things like that, you know, but thankfully it's stuff that could be taught. It's less, you know, being around other kids, understanding how other people work in social dynamics. That's what's helping him the most.
Okay.
But what I would tell people is to keep, you know, advocate for your child because, you know, they can't speak for themselves. So if there's a concern, to keep going to your pediatrician, seek out other resources. I'm still on waiting list to get him officially tested. And I just was on the internet and I found a company that did the service online. So that's how he actually got his diagnosis. But right now I'm still on waiting list to be, you know, to get an official diagnosis. But
yeah, you know, that's awesome that you're doing that and that you did that because in the field that I work in, child development field, and I've worked in special needs schools before, most parents don't want their child to be labeled in any way. And what I always tell them is like, it's not about the label. It's about getting the proper help for them early enough, that early intervention, so that we can start working on it now. Because it's better to work on it now than for it to progress. And then you wait later, then you can't get through to them. But there are teachers and programs and schools and stuff like that can handle it. Recommendation for those that are watching and listening to this and wondering what we can do, always look into the program and always look at those teachers, right? Because there are a lot of teachers that's in these programs that are not good teachers and that are not teachers that can be able to handle those type of situations. So if it's not a teacher that really know their stuff, that's in child development and really understand special needs and things like that, it's not the program for you, because it's very stressful, and you have to have great patience when it comes to those type of students. They're not different. They just think differently. That's all it is.
I like to categorize children, specifically the ones who are on autism spectrum, as superheroes, because when I first started working in education, I was a special education para, and I was assigned to one kid who was autistic, and I had to go with him to each of his classes, take his notes, things like that. And he was lucky when he got me, because I wasn't just there to collect a paycheck. I started to pay close attention to him, how he learned, what kinds of things he was interested in. And he actually taught things to me as well. I learned about video games from him, why my son is so fascinated by certain games and not others, and by the end of that school year, he could recognize 10 sight words, but they told me in the beginning, oh, he can't read or write. He could write his name, and it was legible, because I started working with him. I saw certain things that I was like, okay, he's got the basis for this. Let me help, and I would talk to him. Hey, let's set a goal. What do you think you could do by next week? And we would set our goals. But most people who are working in education, at least in my experience, when you're first coming in off the street with no experience, they're quick to put you in the special education realm, when I feel like that's the worst place to put you coming off the street. You need some kind of skill, some kind of training, You can't just come in and apply and then just go. No, But I'm hoping to make a difference in that area shortly, in a few years, when I get my master's. So, but,
there's another person in the world by the name of Mrs. McKinney. Let's put it that way. She and I started in the special needs schools together. Like, we were doing our student practicum there, and then they hired us in. And to me, she's the third best teacher in the world. The first is the person who trained me, all right? And then, of course, I'm not going to put myself after that, you know what I mean? But she's 1A, 1B to me in the world, all right? And I remember a time Shayla giving us a call, and both of us was on phone call together. She was asking us questions. The way that I was smiling on the other end of that phone, because you couldn't see me, was like, wow, like, this is what it's about. You know what I'm saying? Here's a person that you grew up with at a time. We all go into our prospective careers, but that someone respects you enough in your career to be able to call you and ask you for advice for what's going on in their life. And I want to give you big ups to that, man. I want to give you flowers on this side of the dirt to say, thank you, because I really appreciated that.
I want to thank you. I need that for you, because I just had no clue, and I was like, beating myself up. So I'm like, how did I not see this? How did I not know? But what was the issue we were having is that, with school, is that, he's so smart, he could read this. They were sending him to third grade and kindergarten for math. And it's like, well, he knows what he's doing. And I'm like, no, he doesn't know what he's doing. And then two, at home, he's a different kid. At the most, he may stem when he's at home with me, but at school, he was having meltdowns. And, there were things that were triggering him, but nobody could tell me what it was. And they didn't want me to come and observe the classroom either. So in a different school, back to what you were saying before, Reggie, that, some people aren't actually equipped to handle stuff. And he's in a typical classroom. He's not in special education classes or anything. It's just, there's extra stuff. But it got dangerous because they wanted to label him as having like a behavior problem. And I'm like, no, he might be this much on the spectrum, but you still have to consider all of that. And Fancy, it's admirable that, that you can look at working with students and you're taking the time to actually get to know them, to bring them out of their shell, because it's just, they just learn differently. I'm saying I don't want to say it like that, but everybody's different, just the way anybody who may be typical, or not on the spectrum, but I mean, it's a spectrum. So we're all kind of like, I see my characteristics in him. If you know me, he's an intensified version of me, so it's like, I feel you, I understand where you're coming from, but I can articulate myself. Whereas he's having difficulty, or he's learning, okay, this is when I'm upset, I have to say this, I have to do this, go sit in the quiet corner. I just can't cry and have a meltdown. So,
yeah, I'm glad I went into child development, because it taught me a lot about myself as well. Like, saying a lot of us grew up, and a lot of people growing up not understanding that you got a special need. You might be ADHD or ADD, but we have it. Because for me, the way that I learn, I don't learn the same way that others learn. Like, I literally have to continue to talk it out. It have to really make sense to me for me to get it. Like, we've worked together on many projects before, and boy, it kills me. I got to get it done a month ahead of time. And she may be like, I'll do that 5 minutes before we get on this line. It's done. You know what I mean? But for me, I'm freaking out, because I'm like, oh no, it ain't gonna happen. So even like this podcast thing that we're doing, I start on Wednesdays with everything and stuff, and start on Wednesday just to get to this point, so that I feel comfortable enough and knowledgeable enough to do what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? I just can't pick it up like that. So all of those type of things, no teacher caught that though when I was young. Nobody caught that. Nobody caught that I couldn't read. I could read basic words, but understanding paragraphs and sentence structure and all that kind of stuff, nobody caught it, or they didn't care. One of the two. So that's what I so hard like I do with my students, is because I understand that I wanted to help. I wanted to learn. I wanted to know how to read and stuff like that, but people didn't care. So I'm going to be that one that care. I want to be that teacher that somebody be 20 years old or 30 years old or 40 years old. Like, I remember this teacher named Mr. Reggie or Mr. Anderson, and he blah, 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 blah. That's the type of teacher I want to be.
I actually have one of my special education kids. I had him 2 years ago in the 8th grade, when that was the last year I was in the classroom. Now I work in enrollment for the same district, and he's a high schooler in our district. And in the staff lounge 2 days ago, I was talking with a teacher, and I asked about him, and the teacher shared his take. Then I shared what I knew from when I had him as a student, and that helped that teacher out so much. And he asked me, he said, can I tell him, Mr. Ferry wants to see? I said, absolutely, tell him I want to see him win. Because I see him in the hallway. I asked, hey, let me see your work. What you working on? Because I care, and I really want to see him do well. This particular kid, they did a case study where we were in a professional development, and we had one student that was on a first, second grade reading level, and he was an 8th grader. Every teacher in the room knew it was that kid except for me. I was the last one to figure it out, but I was his newest teacher. But ever since that moment, it has stuck in my head. I'm like, how did he get to 8th grade, still being on the 2nd grade? Who didn't care? Who just keeps passing these? But that's what's happening these days, and it really does the kids a disservice. Yeah. But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day, whole nother, podcast. But
well, let's switch gears a little bit, Miss Shayla.
Sir.
In Monterey, who did you particularly admire?
Who did I admire?
Yeah.
I mean, it was just so different when I came to marching band. So it was like everybody. I kind of like could see qualities in everybody that I respected, all the section leaders. Who did I admire? Well, I'll say I definitely admired you, Reggie. You were our drum major. You were the leader of the band. I can't think of anybody in particular. Nobody like in particular stands out. Just everybody, I'll say.
Okay, I'm gonna change that question. Okay. Who was your band crush?
Yeah, I knew that's what you were getting to. I was trying to
you already know. I know you. You trying to do that professional thing. You know what I was getting at. See, I was trying to be professional, so let's break it down.
Everyone's just so awesome. I admire everyone.
I knew what you were getting to. Did I have a band crush? I kind of like fell into situationships, so I had band situationships.
We all had a couple crushes.
No, I mean, I can't say I had a crush. I had situationships. I'll be honest. I had situationships. It was like, who's the flavor of the week? Honestly, so.
You like, I admired all y'all.
Oh, y'all. I mean, yeah, y'all were all, all the upperclassmen. It's like, hey, why not? Like,
it's college though. Everybody gonna have to play with a week. I mean, everybody's gonna have that one, not one, but everybody to mess with. I mean, you fresh out of high school, you done dealing with the parents, unless your parents still stay there. But I mean, everybody gonna have that when they first come out of college. We come to college.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got a quick story about Shayla.
Oh.
So we've been kind of friends since she walked in the door. Now the drum major at the time, he and I was cool and everything, right? So here come these two little freshmen and everything like that, and he's kicking it with Shayla, and I'm kicking it with the other one and everything, and we go to this little game farm, whatever it was, like go-kart racing and stuff like that. Yeah. And they up front, he's driving and stuff like that. We're in the back. And the person who I'm with, she drops her a pager. This how long ago this was. She drops her pager on the side of the door. I reach over to grab the pager. She kissed me dead in the lips. Yeah.
Whoa, wait a minute. We have to skip past what you said. Like, you what?
Yeah, she kissed me dead in the lips, man. She sure did. And I end up marrying her ass. I sure did.
Y'all's worked out.
Stayed together all those times, man. 1998 to now.
Yep.
End up marrying.
Going strong.
We was on that double date.
Yes.
Mine didn't last. Mine was a situationship, as I said. Do you remember how you got me to go on that double date, Reggie?
I don't.
You remember? I was sitting. I don't know. We were like doing PT or something, and I'm sitting down in. Can you say crisscross applesauce? And like you come and you poking me on my thigh. Who you with? I'm like, nobody. I was scared. I'm like, what are you asking me? I don't know. I'm like, no, nobody. And then you told me that the person liked me, and that y'all wanted to go on a double date with me, and I didn't know your date at the time. Well, I knew of her, but I didn't know who she was. You know what's funny? We knew each other back during summer programs when I stayed with my uncle for the summer in Frankfurt, and she would come to the programs and stuff. So she's cool. One of my cousins, and like all of our friends like ran together and stuff. It's kind of funny how your paths cross before you really know who people are.
Hey, Flo, and they line sisters too to this day.
Yeah, that's nice.
They cross together. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That takes us to our next question. If you can give us an overview of the organizations that you're in.
My organizations. So I'm a member of Tau Beta Sigma National Honorary Band Sorority, and we serve the band. Let's put it that way. We serve the band. Other organizations that I'm in, I am a member of the Kentucky State University National Alumni Association. Okay. And I'm on different committees with the National Association and, of course, with the DC Metro Area chapter. I wouldn't call it, it's an organization we created, the DC Metro HBCU Alumni Alliance. And that's like a conglomerate of local HBCU chapters in the DC Metro area. So those are the three biggest things that I have going on. Well, I can't say three. Is that four? Four. I'm a life member with Tau Beta Sigma, and we're talking about starting an alumni association. So we're excited to move on to some new things.
Okay, that's what's up.
Busy woman.
I love the pause right there. Everybody just smiling and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I just happy to be there.
I'm like, Herb been quiet.
Herb always quiet until we get him talking. There we go. Go ahead and get that juice in.
Chug at noon.
Hey, it's 6 o'clock somewhere.
Hey, listen. Wine is just.
Do you remember? Okay, Herb, I'm gonna tell on you a little bit. Reg, you asked me about who my crushes were back at K-State. Herb, do you remember who your crush was at one of your crushes?
You talking to Herb?
Who you paid for in the TBS what you call the auction? And you picked them up and put them over your shoulder. Do you remember that, Herb?
Herb was participating in auctions?
I was participating in the auction. Herb bought me at the auction. He picked me up and put me over his shoulder.
Hey, I forgot you ladies to talk shit with us.
Y'all used to hang with me for
Get
real.
'em. Get
Hey,
'em.
about that though, for real.
That was back in the day. Yeah, you forgot about
As soon
that.
as you said auction, I said,
Uh-huh.
In his head, he was
I'm gonna
like,
bring it out. I'm gonna bring it out. That
She
was
said-
funny.
in his head, he was like,
no, I wasn't. Hey, my past is my past, and whatever I did in my past is my past. Meaning, like I'm doing stuff now, but what my past was is my past.
That was funny.
"Yeah,
That was
so
hilarious.
we didn't even do auctions in my school. Could you imagine? That might have went different at UNC. We had an auction. We couldn't do, we
Felt like
couldn't
you read
do.
the questions off the board.
Who, me?
No, that one down there.
Oh, Reggie.
What?
He said you reading questions off the board. You being teacher's pet.
No, I didn't get that question, bro, because I was just about to say that's the next question we were going to ask. To
That's
give
what
a
I
story
I
about one of
just
the
said her.
panels, and she
Hey.
got it.
Hey, Fancy said that. I'm talking about Shayla.
Oh,
I do nothing. I'm innocent.
rumor has it you out here buying people herbs, so I don't know.
Hey, Flo, imagine us having an auction with the Gammas and the Gamma Deltas when we was in high school.
Everybody was trying to buy.
That'd have been X-rated.
Yeah, I paused because I was like, I ain't even gonna say no names.
Yeah, that'd have been X-rated.
Girls would have been trying
Hey,
to
why
buy,
you talking about kids? One in high school.
but we was the kids.
Some people was 18 in high school, so I might be talking about them.
Yeah, so the 18-year-olds would have all
High school kids. Gross.
That sounds like, you know what, Reggie? We might need to
Don't get that to them kids.
not the kids, the adult gamblers. Like a
Well,
sneaker.
y'all can have that because that's gonna turn X-rated.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, gotta turn X-rated with that group of people. Gotta turn X-rated. So, Miss Shayla, can you tell us a story?
No, Black Wing. I'm in the middle of saying so. So listen, that's not gonna turn X-rated. Our definition of X-rated, what it is in the past, is totally different from what it is now. That would not turn X-rated. That would be a porno.
I don't know, brother. They more X-rated now than we were, bro.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Because nothing's taboo anymore.
So I try to avoid, like,
a whole lot worse.
It's late. I'll be like, no, y'all into some other stuff, and I'm not gonna be the adult with the kids and y'all doing wild stuff. Nope.
Mm-hmm.
The kids are now is a whole lot worse because they got more access to a lot of different things than we did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I said no. You don't want to give that to them, man. They turn that to something totally different.
Who said they ain't did it already?
I mean, they could have. We were doing stuff, but I'm just saying.
I mean, they could
Don't say we, you.
Who's you?
Reggie.
Hey, don't be pointing me out like that. Don't be. Look here. Statute of limitations.
Never.
I can't never figure out what direction to point. There we go. Wait.
The opposite.
My hand look big.
I thought she wasn't drinking.
I ain't been drinking nothing. So, okay. Guys, I have a question for everybody. Okay. Describe an experience involving one of the panel members. That question for everybody.
Who you starting with?
We're going to start with her. We're going to talk.
Listen, you ain't got to get me to talk. I'm going to talk. Stop doing it.
We can't hear you, bro.
I know. That was the point.
This thing.
Don't make him mad so he leave the studio like he be doing. Or is that Reggie that be just storming out?
No, that'd be
no, I ain't been out. I only went out the first time. Y'all two go out every time.
We be having temper tantrums and storming out. Okay, Herb, you up?
No, I forgot what the question was.
Describe an experience involving one of the panel members.
I remember it was this one time at band camp. The drum major, I'm sure he know who he is. He done some stuff, a lot of stuff. I don't like to name names. People put people's business out there like that. But the dude that I'm talking about, he know I know, because he knows. It's another person on this panel too. Was probably there at the time too. when this drum major did this stuff. But him being the drum major, he had to do what he had to do. But outside band camp, there was other stuff going on. Not safe for young ears or old ears. We talked about high school kids doing auctions and stuff like that. Let's talk about these other parties this drum major did. There was parties involving women,
I would hope
showers,
so.
upper
Oh,
rooms. So this panel member, not gonna name no names. You know, he changed a lot of people's lives. He made people think about things they was doing. And when they did them, either they left happy or they left sad. But there was a lot of blue walls everywhere. These blue walls, it was always through the window and definitely on the wall.
that was very poetic.
Or it's a blue walls,
You're
blue
crazy,
stains on
bro.
the walls.
Bro, it's crazy, boy.
Hey, listen, I'm not gonna name no names.
He
I
made
tell you,
that
boy,
poetic story with no details. I love it because I felt like I
right,
was a story, but I wasn't.
right. But we be on the edge of our seat, like, okay, what he
No,
about
like-
to say? Who we talking about? What he's talking about? Like, what?
Like,
I ain't gonna name nobody. Clearly, I wasn't there. I'm like, so what you for y'all two? He's like, cause we ain't gonna. Okay, well, like, who was it? Who
Listen,
was
man,
there?
I can remember when this podcast first started. You know, we could talk names, we could say names, we could do our bound chicka wow wow. That's the thing that dude says. But I don't name names because I feel like these people know who they are, and they feel guilty about it. They gonna smile. Or we still ride and keep it
You
going.
can't play that game with me, nigga.
But no,
Oh wait, I'm smiling. I didn't do anything. I wasn't there.
you definitely had a big grin on your face.
Flo, what about you? You got a story? You got a story? One of the panels?
Well, the only person I'm connected to on the panel is you.
Well, you done been around Herb enough.
I don't really have no stories about her that don't involve the podcast. Let me see. I don't have no stories. I'm gonna have to think. Mine just pop out randomly. I'm gonna come back to that one.
Like the Mexican cartel and all types of stuff.
Say it again.
Yeah, gang member Blancy.
Who was a gang member?
Oh yeah.
Well, what gang was I in?
And the gang you was in, the gang you was hanging out with.
Yeah. Oh, Thuggish Ruggish Bone.
Reggie?
No,
No,
we
you.
talking about you.
I hung out with Reggie in high school in band. So was that the gang?
See how she forget?
Yeah.
I
She
did
said-
tell y'all I'll be having about to
That's all right. We got receipts. We can take it back to
Oh,
That's
Y'all-
why we won't drink alcohol in the morning.
they talking. Okay, so let me explain to Shayla. So they're talking about this picture I shared with them from when I was in college. I went to U of D Mercy, which is a local PWI school in Detroit. And I was hanging out with some of the pep band members. We had a pep band, we had marching band. And we were somewhere, New York, somewhere. And I was hanging out with some essays. And we got pictures and I'm throwing up symbols. I don't know what I was doing. We was drinking Jaeger. So that's what they talking about. But see how I conveniently forgot that though?
Hey, Flo, you ain't never give us no pictures.
Huh?
You ain't never show us no pictures. We know you had evidence of it.
Yeah, there's a picture. Had I
She
not
always
remembered,
she always throwing that left hook. They go that left hook. Now we want to see the pictures.
All new.
downstairs. I'm gonna have to get the pictures for the next episode to show y'all.
Yeah, now we want to see the pictures.
This is all new.
My band
All right,
story
Shayla,
is so whack compared to y'all's though.
I got
It's on you,
several
Shayla.
stories. I have several stories. I remember we went to two of the panel members. We went to Cleveland, Ohio, in my Nissan Sentra for Brian Hale's birthday party. Brian and Sherry Hale.
We did go there. That was I was with you. I forgot all about that.
I
We
ain't
went up there.
hell.
We took a little road trip, and somebody left a beer can in the back of my car. And when we got back home, that beer had busted open, and it like just got the whole back of the car full of beer. So I had to like take it and put it in my bathtub and like whatever that mat is and wash it out. That was fun though. And there was an
That
air
was fun.
mattress. So we had I brought a twin size air mattress for me to sleep on because I knew we would be sleeping on the floor when we got there. And this is young when you were able to still sleep on the floor. Like, don't invite me someplace and make me sleep on the floor now because I'm too grown for that. And And so we did that. And so I had the air mattress, and then there was another full size or queen mattress that Sherry had. And Reggie and Herb were supposed to sleep on the air mattress, but Reggie would not sleep on that air mattress with Herb. And so I'm in the twin mattress, and somebody's like, I'm not sleeping with him. So we both sleeping like this because we're both just stubborn. I'm like, I'm not getting off my mattress. I bought this mattress for me. You get over on another mattress. No. Herb just had the time of his life, sprawled out, knocked out that night. And we stubborn like this, like, you scoot over. No, you scoot over.
As grown young men, we are not sleeping in the same bed together.
Yeah.
Never.
What y'all do on band trips?
Why men have an issue with that?
What y'all do on band trips?
We kind of had a conversation about this before.
I don't want to wake up and see another dude's face in my face.
But you don't sleep like that. You sleep.
I'm not about to be like, it's not that.
I don't want to wake up and see another dude's feet in my face.
I think what it is, Shayla, I think it's just that when men lay next to a body, it's usually a woman. And so in their sleep, they may roll over and touch. And I think that if they're laying next to somebody and they're fully asleep, they might forget that it's not their lady. And they don't want to have, and I get that, but y'all be making it so weird. Like, it's not that deep. Just get separate blankets.
Because that shit is weird. Y'all be walking around titty bopping and shit, each other and everything, and touching and all of that, and smacking each other booty. We can't wake up with no hard. We can't wake up with no hard on and then get a hard on in your booty. No, we ain't doing that in your damn back and shit.
Listen, Shayla, as women, if we lay in the bed next to each other, we're not cuddled up. I'm not gonna roll over on her. Hey, girl, let's not
situational awareness. I know what's going on.
Some of y'all did.
What'd you say?
We would know because that's not what we into.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but what if me and Reggie did that? That should be kind of messed up. I'm not down with that. I don't need that memory in my head.
But that'd just be between y'all two. You don't tell anybody. We wouldn't.
No, we ain't doing none of that.
No,
none of that.
No, we ain't even letting no thoughts of that. But I really think that's what it is. Men don't want to forget you're laying next to their boy and roll over and like, you know, or whatever they do. I don't know.
So for one, I won't be able to go to sleep anyway. And if I'm that messed up, I'm gonna fall out where I fall out at.
Okay.
I sleep up on a damn couch in a chair. Matter of fact, you know me, Hurt. I sleep upside down in a damn chair. But this gonna be my chair. Ain't nobody else getting in it.
But if you don't make it to that air mattress first, and you out of luck. Didn't be the rules.
Hey, I'm talking about the story, man. We was I'll tell this story then. I'm talking about the panel member. We was in, I believe it was in Atlanta. I think we was in Atlanta. But we was at some bros' house. They had like a little condo type of apartment area or something like that. And I think this is the story with the bacon and stuff, Hurt.
Oh, if
was we in Atlanta?
I don't know where we was at.
But we did, man. But
I think it was Miles.
Okay. Man, we kicking it with the bros and sorors and stuff. But I done got so twisted and everything. And I don't know how the hell I ended up this way. I was in the chair, but when I woke up, I was upside down in the chair. So my head was where your feet supposed to be. My feet was up the other way. But bros was laughing at me and stuff like that. And we talk about this all the time to this day. Like, bro, your ass was upside down, but you would not let that damn beer go. The beer didn't fall over. They said they were trying to take the beer from me. Yeah, I'm holding on to the beer. They said they're trying to take the beer from me. I wouldn't let them take it. I was upside down, though. But yeah.
Oh, you drink this. I'm not to ever drink that. Miller, genuine draft.
Oh, that's the official frat beer.
The MGD. My greatest drink.
Yeah, that's the official frat beer right there.
That's what they used to say.
Calling it that. My greatest drink.
I was lucky that y'all like to drink because whenever I would drink something, I'd take a few sips and then pass it to one of y'all. And these were like Sky Blues and what's it? I can't think of the other one, but the little malt liquor stuff. Take a sip, pass it over. Thanks.
What the highlight?
So, Shayla, what is your perspective on the value of alumni giving back to their educational institution?
Oh, it's a must. It has to happen. And especially with our HBCUs, because we are traditionally underfunded. It's like the state HBCUs are traditionally underfunded. When we haven't been receiving the money that that Congress or that the states a lot to the universities. You mentioned in my bio about the 1890 land grant institutions, and that's what established a lot of our HBCU schools to educate Black people in the area. But just recently, the Secretary of Agriculture wrote letters to various governors to make sure that they knew that based on present day dollars that, you know, there are billions of dollars in the deficit of what they owe to our HBCUs. But I mean, just programming, book money, you know, if you can make it something as simple. So that was kind of one of the reasons why we founded the DC Metro HBCU Alumni Alliance, so that we could give back to our alumni chapters, who in turn give back to the school and give back to our students. Because, you know, it's not just getting somebody to the school, it's keeping somebody there to graduate. And that's where it really gets important. And sometimes, you know, you can have a bad semester and lose your scholarship. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, you can't go to school without your books. You know, books are different nowadays. They don't have to have the hard, you know, copy books for some classes, but still, you know, tuition just to cover your room and board, cover, you know, your meal plan, things like that. So it's vital that alumni give back to their alma maters.
Well, everything's on like book wise, it's like computer wise now. Mm-hmm. I mean, like kids iPods and stuff, what you call them, iPads and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You ain't touching it unless you're doing schoolwork.
Well, it's that time, baby. It's that time to put some smoke in the air. It is that time. I've learned this new trick about she looking around like for her cigar.
I don't have a cigar, but I got a humidifier, so maybe that'll work.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Only you. Only you.
Put the smoke in the air.
I'm bringing it out. I got my smoke in the air. What's up?
Smoke in it.
Moisturize the skin, you know.
All right.
Keep it fresh.
Only you, boy. This is when this is show, people gonna bust the fuck out laughing when you pull that damn thing out.
Humidified. That's what's up, though.
Because you know, you and your sons think the same way. She really did the same shit.
It's funny. Just looking around like, what can I take this?
I mean, I have mascara. I'm thinking that's close.
So,
I can dig it though.
This portion of the show, Put Smoke in the Air, is that you have to tell a story, any story, marching band story, whatever like that, about something that happened in marching band, being that it was in middle school, high school, or college. You know what I'm saying? Only thing we ask is that you don't say no names unless you want to say some name. You know what I'm saying? It can be funny, it can be, you know, serious, or it can be bow chicka bow bow. You know what I mean? Whatever story you want to tell, you can tell the story.
I'm gonna keep my stories clean because y'all have enough dirt on me already. We're not gonna relive the past. I have some funny stories that happened, and I'm not gonna name names because this was a trip we went to. Was it the SIAC conference in, I want to say, Birmingham? And you know, the buses have bathrooms, right? But of course, there's a rule that you're not supposed to do certain things in those bathrooms.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And
somebody had, I don't say ate something bad or drank too much, but they just annihilated that bathroom. And so I don't know if you remember that Chief, the air freshener, we called it the Chief, but it was like the Dollar Tree air freshener, like the Money Blessing air freshener, stuff like that. We were trying to spray that and stuff to save us, but that was one thing. That was one trip. And then this wasn't the same trip. I think it might've been like that fall before. One of my members of my section left her shoes, her black marching band shoes, back in Kentucky. And I don't know where we were. We were far away from Kentucky. And so one of the other people in our section had black tennis shoes, but they had like red and different colors. So we were panicking. We were so scared about what were we going to do because she didn't have shoes. She bought like one black shoe and one like brown shoe, but it had a heel on it. I'm like, how did you not know you didn't have your band shoes? We called down to the front desk of the hotel and had them, it was my idea, to get the black electric tape. And so I take their shoes up so she could go march. So she had on some shoes. It was like any means necessary.
Yeah.
We did not want to get in trouble. We would have all gone down. That was funny. Yeah,
that sounds like that Miles trip that we took, because a lot of people had that black duct tape, and that black duct tape started melting. It was so hot.
That was my first trip ever. That was my first away game, Miles, my freshman year. tear the club up. I remember that, the little purple and gold piece of the cloth. I can still do that dance routine. I know that dance routine because that was my first one. That was an impression.
Wow.
It was like the next show. I remember that. Let me get my clarinet.
Oh, and she was a clarinet player.
Oh yeah, clarinet. We were clarinet thugs.
Clarinet thugs.
CT.
Oh, how mercy.
Yep.
Yeah. Listen, I was just talking about you all the other night. I was like, the first time I ever heard of or seen a bassoon is when you played it.
I played bass clarinet. I didn't play bassoon.
Okay,
contrabass.
You played the bass
contrabass. The contrabass is what you're talking about.
Okay.
Because it was taller than me.
Yeah. I'm like, what the hell is that thing? So, you know, there's instruments out there, man. So many instruments out there that you don't even know about.
What does it sound like? Is it like
Ricola? Like that's what it is.
Yep.
It's just deep. Just
it's real deep.
Okay.
It's down there.
I used to have the breath. I used to be able to like really play it too. Now, don't get me. I can't do it.
I just in my head heard like a tugboat, like the. I said about like that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's about it.
But everything's the same as a bass clarinet, you know.
Okay.
I think the one I had might have had an extra key. Like some bass clarinets have a lower. I want to say, what is it? E flat or something? What is that key? There's another key. Like there's some bass clarinets have like a third key in with the pinky. I can't remember now, but it had like all those keys. So you know I basically played the bass clarinet line, but it was like super deep. So it was fun. It was neat, you know, and nobody else played it. So I kind of felt unique.
You are unique for that. Wow.
And I used to get laughed at because it was taller than me. Like when I had the kickstand up and was standing up, it was truly taller than me. So.
Come on, Flo. Where your story is, Flo?
Oh, I was caught up with this bass clarinet thing. Story. I got no stories. Let me think. I always say I got no stories when I think of one. So the story, the band trip that we went on to New York or Chicago before it was for the Sweet 16 tournament when I was hanging out with the essays. And our band, we might have had about 30 kids in it. It was very small compared to HBCUs. Like I said, I went to a PWI school. And this is the same story with that one young lady. Her daddy sent her like $200 or $300 and she took everybody to Steak and Shake. And so we had been drinking Jägermeister. I would never drink that again. But we had all been drinking Jaeger, and I just remember hanging out with them and taking all these pictures. And then we were walking places, just randomly out walking. I was like one of the few Black kids, or maybe one of three, hanging out with all these other white kids. And we out somewhere in the middle of nowhere in Chicago, somewhere out there. But we always had random trips. We were walking somewhere, always walking around. You know, my stories are not as interesting as y'all's, though.
What did y'all do while y'all was walking?
Probably just it was never no bound chicka wow wow. I never hooked up with nobody in my marching. My
oh no, I wasn't talking like that. I'm saying like, sure y'all ran to like a gang or something. You joined the gang and started.
I did join a gang. I got initiated. I had to
some
fight
cars on fire.
Huh?
I said you set some cars on fire.
I did. I literally flipped a car by myself. It was an F-150, and I was like, I just
trying to play innocent. Like, you know what I'm saying? Probably like 20 minutes later, she was like, oh yeah, back then, you know, I sugar down somebody's gas tank and, you know, it just blew up down the highway.
You know what else I did on one of them trips? I hung out with Axel Foley and he showed me how to put the banana in the tailpipe the right way.
Banana in the tailpipe?
Oh, I know he was real.
Yeah.
Hey, I thought he was in California.
No, that day he was in Chicago.
But then he lived in Detroit.
He came to Detroit for some of our games, but you know, that day he was in Chicago. Quit trying to mess up my story, Herb. I'm like, clearly it's a lie. Don't be trying to dig in for more details. That's what I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start embellishing stories and just making them real outlandish.
Hey, listen, Flo, if you did that, one of my fact check you.
Oh, somebody gonna fact check in this day and age. People be fact checking.
Comment. I was there, and that did not happen.
Foley was in California.
It was not a banana.
He never even ate a banana in his life, and I'm like, well, it was orange. I may or may not have fabricated. I told you I'd be having amnesia. Reggie, your turn.
Give me a topic.
Mushrooms.
But that ain't a band story. But
story is it?
Hanging out with homeboy and stuff, man. And this dude like, man, just drinking stuff ain't enough for me. I got some shrooms, Reg. You want some? I'm like, hell no, I want no motherfucking shroom. I don't know what the hell that shit gonna look at. For me, drinking was enough for me. You know what I'm saying? All that other hard stuff, heroin and cocaine and popping pills and all, none of that. That's not for me.
They do in the movies. I didn't want to be a movie star.
Yeah, that's just too high for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm only drinking anyway, as I thought growing up was to get the girls and talk more and stuff like that. That was it. You know what I'm saying? A party. But I'm not about to do no damn. I don't want to be that high. I want to be coherent where I can see and know what the fuck going on around me. Okay? So I need to know, because everybody ain't cool.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Everybody ain't cool. I don't know if I told this story here on one of our podcasts, is that that first year I got to K-State, I threw myself a birthday party in a hotel room, right? So I'm there, two other band guys are there, and one of the band guys bring two guys with him that I don't know. And then there's two females, which was in the marching band as well. And one was there kicking it, we all kicking it. Now some over there, you know what I'm saying, smoking weed and stuff like that. But once again, I'm just a drinker. And one of the females, you know, she got her drink on. Well, both of them got their drink on, but one left, right? And then that one that stayed ended up under the sink in the hotel crying. I'm like, hey, bro, hey, get her up out of here. But the dudes that came with that I didn't know, they started plotting against her to do something with her and stuff like that. And so they like, come on, Reg, man, we can. I'm like, nah, bro, I don't get down like that. And they kept cutting out the lights and shit. I turned them up and right back on. You know what I'm saying? No, and I was just like, this party's over. Y'all got to go. Y'all got to go. And come to find out, the other person that was in the room, it was his girlfriend at the time. He was messing with her and stuff like that, which was more of a fucked up situation but that was one of my teachable moments, learning moments, not teachable moment, but a learning moment for me coming to college and being in this new world. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, they getting down like this. This is some fuck shit right here. So that's one of the reasons I always have to be on my P's and Q's around me, especially if I'm hosting something, because stupid shit go down like that. First thing they say, well, I was at this person's party, I was at this person's house, I was hanging out with this person, and I ain't got shit to do with it. I just never was on that type of shit, man. You know what I mean? So, but there's dudes that's on that type of shit. So, you know what I'm saying? That's one of the stories.
You know, it's funny that you say that, Reggie, because I was telling one of my friends here locally that whenever I was with Kappa Kappa Psi, Iota Mu chapter, I felt safe. Like, y'all didn't let stuff happen. Y'all kept people away from us. I remember I was at a party and somebody was messing with me, and then it was just like y'all kind of stepped in with like, she said, no, leave her alone. You know, so it was never like in the world of Me Too, that never happened with us. And, you know, from my experience, you know, we would just all just had fun and kicked it and didn't feel like anything was going to happen to us. Nothing that we didn't want to let happen, you know?
In my little circle of friends, I was always a designated driver. So I was always never drinking, never smoking, nothing, because I was always paranoid about somebody doing something to my friends. I remember going to, I ain't going to say the organization. We went to a party down in Wayne State, which is a university here in Detroit. And I was with one of my homegirls who was on the basketball team at UAD. So she's 6'4", you know, average basketball looking playing girl. And this guy who came up, he was taller than her, big burly guy. And he was trying to get her to go with him to somewhere. And he grabbed her by the arm, and she was wasted. She had been drinking, but we all had been locked. We were locked up by the arm. So he grabbed her, and we all just went. When we got to where he was taking her, he looked, and it was 5 of us. He like, what y'all doing? We like, what you doing? So we rolled together, you know, and then he let us all leave. But that moment was scary to me because she was so drunk. I couldn't have dragged her. I couldn't have carried her or nothing if she wouldn't have been coherent enough to walk. You know, so I started telling her then, like, you got to stop getting wasted like this, sis, because if that man would have tried you, you know, he was way too big. It was not, you know. And so when I talk to my students who are graduating high school now, and I tell them when they're going to college, when you go, make sure you're with people that you trust. Don't take stuff you don't. I try to tell them all those things. What, you know, stuff we got told. But
don't put your cup down.
Yep, that's right.
That's scary to me, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Considering your experiences, what counsel would you provide to your younger self, Shayla?
Me? Oh,
Yes.
what counsel would I provide to my younger self?
Yeah. Through all your experiences that you done had to this
You
time.
tell yourself no to. Don't do it again.
You're definitely from note to selves. I think if anything, I would tell younger Shayla that you are enough. You know, that you don't have to seek value outside of yourself. You know, you have to love yourself first. And I think it took me getting into my 40s to really get it, you know, going through a divorce and stuff like that. And then it's like, I'm content with me, you know. There's a lot of stuff that, you know, I felt like I was always just kind of like in the background, never really was seeing that kind of stuff. But I was in situations where I wasn't valued. And I'm thinking, you know, you got to do something to be valued or say something or be a certain way. And no, I didn't. You know, I was good, you know, as I was. I try to be the adult now that I needed when I was growing up and stuff. But I think that's the big takeaway. Like, you know, I wish I loved myself more than, you know, appreciated what I had and, you know, stuff like that. Just appreciated who I was, you know, had the confidence that I have now, things like that.
So the question you just said you would tell your past self, right? Now this question is for both of y'all, all three of y'all, right? So the same question that Reggie just gave Shayla, what information you have now that you would tell your past self? Now, the information you have, you tell your past self. Now, with your past self, listen to that information you're giving.
That's a deep one, cuz.
Yeah.
Let me try to answer that.
Zagged on that one.
I would
Yeah,
hope,
shit.
I would hope that I would.
Her went hot down Michelangelo on us and shit. Malcolm
I would
X on
hope
me.
that my younger self would listen. But I know me and I know I'm stubborn. So I think that I would listen, but I would still continue the way I'm going until I bump my head and then I'll remember. Because I see that that's my pattern in life, you know.
Yeah, for me, I now would know that I have to come at me a certain way. That I just can't come to me back then and say, hey, do this, and don't do this. Because I'll be like, who the fuck are you? Fuck you. You know what I mean? Then, and I would say, well, you did it. Why are you telling me not to do something that you already done? You see what I'm saying? Well, you have fun, so now you don't want me to have fun. See, that's how I used to think that way back then. So I would have to come to me a different way, but I would listen. I still would listen. And like Flo, I probably still would continue to do what I was doing, but I would remember that conversation that you had with me. And then I will be changed like I am today. Yeah.
It would definitely change things, but it would be slow steps. Because you'll think about, damn, I'm going to do this and I'm going down. This is what happened. So let me not do this.
I don't think I would have changed much, but I think I definitely would have taken stuff to heart because I think I had to learn some things in order to get to this mindset. But I think it would have just having somebody say that to you, you know, or even just giving you some like confidence boosters, things like that. You know, I think it might have made me feel differently about outcomes of situations. But,
more words of encouragement.
Yeah. I mean, just that what you said, Shayla, I didn't learn that either until I was in my 40s. It's that I'm good enough. You know what I'm saying? And that's all those things that y'all know me of and things that y'all know that I've done or heard that I've done. You know what I mean? All those things was based off me not feeling good enough and wanting to be good enough amongst my peers. You know what I mean? So it was, for me, it was, as long as y'all was happy, the parties wasn't for me. The parties was for y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's to make y'all happy. So I would sit up like, well, I see they happy, so shit, that makes me happy. You know what I mean? Or the boom boom room back there. You know what I mean? I wasn't back there. You know what I mean? That's what's going on back there. But that's what it was for me. It was that I always felt not good enough. So, you know what I'm saying? That's why I practice as hard as I practice, wanted to be the best drum major out there, wanted to be the best whatever I was doing. So if I'm going to do it, I'm going to be the best at it. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, fuck you. Right? But it was up under that thing of not feeling good enough or being good enough in life, you know.
I've learned now, of course, through therapy, that like a lot of stuff that we deal with, it's because your inner child hasn't been nurtured. So you have to nurture that inner child to truly heal. And all, and then anything, any little thing that you think of, it relates back to something that happened to you when you were younger.
And it's not till we able to unveil ourselves and look in the mirror at ourselves and not point the finger at everybody else that it's everybody else's fault, because you hold some accountability in everything that did happen to you in some type of way.
Do you all feel like a little bit of your inner child gets healed when you interact with children?
Yes.
I feel like that for me. And I think that's one of the biggest drives for me staying in education, is that I learn from the students too, and they don't realize that they teach us as long as we're receptive, because, just like with them, they have to be receptive to the teaching. And then us as adults, even in casual conversation, we have to be receptive to learn from them as well. Because even though they've been here 5 minutes, they've learned something in those 5 minutes, especially these kids, because some of their experiences are different than things that we experience. At least I know for me, some of the stuff they dealing with grown-up problems. I didn't deal with none of that at 14 and 13 and 15,
They sit here and watch the YouTube videos, all these different shows. The patience they have to do all that, we don't have that much patience. They're watching other people's lives and seeing it, and they talking about other people's lives, or they actually live these lives. But that's why we learning from other people. It's not just kids; it's everybody. We learn from everybody. Everybody in this panel right now learning from each other. It's something we learn. Something we learned. Yeah. And you just said it today, Black. I didn't know you from wasn't from Frankfurt. I didn't know you was from all these different other states. So we all learn something different.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what you were saying, Flo, about the children and stuff. There's been multiple children throughout my career. Like whenever I have a bad day, I really have bad days, right? I'm really in a sad mode. So most of y'all have never seen me like sad. You know what I mean? But I've been in those modes at work. And when I'm in those modes, I always tell people, they be like, you always singing. And I was like, well, if you don't hear me singing, that means something's wrong, right? That means I'm sick or I'm sad or something, right? Something done happened. And these students just come up. They'll just walk up to you, you know what I'm saying? And these kids, you know what I'm saying, give me a hug. I'm like, it'll be okay, Mr. Reggie. It'll be okay, Mr. Adams, or something like that. And it'd be like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? This child didn't even know, because I'm not telling my business, but they know how your personality is every day, and that you're off, and that you needed the hug. Here it is that I'm usually giving the hug, but that you need a hug, and then just walk away, right?
Yep.
And then those things you think like, this child is able to do that. When I was a child, adults weren't even able to do that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So absolutely, you're absolutely right.
Or the times where you're in your classroom for your prep, and you think you about to have your moment of quiet, and then here come a kid at the door doing some silly dance or something, and it makes you laugh. I love those moments, because I might be having a moment where I'm sad, especially after my mom passed and I was back in the classroom. I used to just be in there like, and I look up and here come, it was usually 2 or 3 particular kids who frequently come to my classroom,
Now, are y'all the same person today as you were when you was in your 20s?
Heck no. Definitely not.
I'm the best version of me ever at this present moment right now. I wish I had my 20-year-old body. I won't deny that. It was banging back in the day. Like, go look at some pictures. I could have been the girl on the ads for the parties, get there before 10 for free, get in.
Oh yeah.
That could have been me, and I didn't appreciate it back then. But no, I mean, my whole outlook on life has changed. 20-year-old me was, I'm gonna find somebody, we'll get married and da 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 da. Life, the one thing I learned, never say never, never say never about anything. But 20-year-old Shayla was really naive and innocent and just didn't have any life experiences. 44-year-old Shayla has seen some things, and I look at things totally different. So I've grown for the better,
The goals change as you get older. I mean, like younger Herb, younger Reggie, younger Shayla, younger Fancy. Our goals was totally different, at 20 years old compared to 40 plus. you know, those goals has become more mature. I hope so. It has to become more mature and more geared towards other people than just self. You know, um, a lot of goals as 20-year versions of ourselves were geared more towards self.
Mhm.
You know, there's other people that you think about nowadays. You know, you think about your mortality nowadays.
Mhm.
20-year-old self don't think about that. You know,
Mhm.
so definitely, it's always definitely gonna be. If it didn't change, it's something's wrong. You did not experience life at all. I mean, you are still stuck in a rut.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I
That's
think
true.
the 20-year-old version of me, what when it comes to speaking of mortality, I was thinking about that more so in my 20s, just simply because I was very, very overweight. And I do value my health more now. And that's why I've taken it as serious as I have. I wish that I would have taken it more serious though in my 20s, but I didn't have anybody in my ear telling me that kind of stuff. And so I try to be that voice for a lot of the young people that I'm around now. And when I talk to them about health and their weight and things like that, I'm very transparent, because one thing I don't want them to take away from that is that I'm judging them or I'm picking on them because of their size, you know. And they always receive it well, because, I'm coming from a place of concern. Hey, I've been there. This is where I came from. Look at my journey. I had a mild heart attack at 24.
Mm.
And I have students who I've watched over the summer. They're starting, the weight starting to pick up, and I don't say anything, and they'll come to me later on privately and ask questions about things, and I'll give them some pointers of different things they can do. But if nothing else, they know that they can come to me for anything, even that, you know. And I wish I had that kind of an adult in my life in my teens and 20s. So I try to be that for them, you know.
Well,
Hey, look, listen, Flo. What you need to do is tell Mr. Reggie about that pork butt he eating, and tell him about the health issues you gonna have with it.
Yeah, okay. You skinny now.
That pork butt.
You
But
gotta
you know
it's
lose.
what though?
actually
You can't
it's
look at it
actually a
like
shoulder.
you can't just look at it as like
I know I
size.
get it.
You got to look at it just overall, because like me having breast cancer just hit me out of nowhere, and then flip that a few years later, colorectal cancer. Like, say what?
Yeah.
So you just like, I think what you have to definitely do is establish, a connection with the doctor, and if you don't like that doctor, find another doctor.
Yeah.
But you have to go routinely get checked for everything. When you start, there's certain tests that happen at certain ages. So you definitely have to do the preventative part is the most important part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna keep eating my pork butt.
Hey, I mean, do you? You ain't
Listen here. I'm gonna have all kind of sandwiches today, baby.
lying.
And some baked beans.
There you go.
Beans.
You there. Pork.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen here. Well, let me see. Let's get one more in here. What childhood memory holds the most significance to you?
Hmm. Childhood memory. Let me think. Like the memories that I really have were like embarrassment. Like I just remember being embarrassed for a lot of stuff. Well, let me say it like this. Let me flip that. I think I had a lot of anxiety when I was a kid, and I didn't understand why. And I think it kind of attributes to being like the new kid on the block when you move different places or whatever. But I remember second grade, it was like to a situation where I couldn't eat in public. We go out to eat at restaurants, and I'd have to eat like Jello or pudding, stuff that was light on my stomach, and they thought I just wanted sweets or whatever. So I just keep thinking back to that situation where, it was more of anxiety, and I probably should have gone to therapy or something, but we don't go to doctors. We don't do that kind of stuff. Therapy, who needs therapy?
Right.
And now that I'm older, I think about that often. Like, I want to make sure that my son, at least recognizing things with my son, having conversations with him, just making sure he's in a good mental space, and not like self-conscious or whatever, but just more self-aware. So I think I would say that, my childhood really as a whole was like great. I had a lot of fun with my family going on trips and stuff, but just taking something that could have been like minor and thinking of how it probably impacted me as a whole, growing up. I think that would probably be like the memory that I think about the most. And it has it has a role in my daily life.
Mhm. What about you, Flo?
I was just thinking about what I shared with you guys earlier off the air. This morning when I was eating breakfast with my kids, I was telling them about the things that we used to do on Saturday mornings when I was a kid. And I started humming the theme music from one of the cartoons I used to watch. And so I called my brother and I played it and he chimed in, woo, singing it, you know. And I was telling my kids, like, you know, when you guys get older, you're going to have memories. Oh, I remember my mom used to make us breakfast on Saturdays and we would sit on our phones. I said, but our childhood, we would get the big, stupid bowl of cereal, the sweet cereal, and sit and just binge watch. And I was like, man, that used to be so much fun. And we called their dad. We called a couple people and they all had the same storyline. So my kids thought that was interesting. But those are the kind of memories I have from my childhood. Just playing outside till the street lights came on, marching band between middle school and high school, hanging out with my band friends, my same band friends from high school and middle school. I was hanging out with them in college, although I didn't go to the colleges they went to, you know. So just, I have a lot of fond memories from childhood. Or even just growing up overseas. I was telling, which I didn't think Reggie didn't know, but I grew up in West Africa before coming to the States. We came in here in 88, 89, and he didn't know that when we went to high school together. So my childhood is a little unique.
Well, I know, like with me, it's gonna always go back to my family, cousins, and all that stuff. You know, some of those memories growing up in them, man, messed up stuff. Why are we doing this? You know, some of them were like messed up. It got on my nerve. But then there's those memories. They're memories because they're past. But those are what the things that shaped me who I am. With my cousins, my sisters, my brothers, and stuff. Stuff we did, having fun. You know, I remember the throwing a brick over the garage thing. You know, playing in the alleys. You know, jumping off side of down buildings and stuff like that. Those are the memories that I've had that stick in my mind all the time. And the thing is, I would never tell anybody, don't do those things. I mean, they were dangerous things, but at the same time, they shaped me. They made you learn. I mean, a lot of stuff you don't learn by talk, you learn by actually doing. So, you know, that's me.
Yeah, I will have to agree with everything that y'all said. I mean, it's all the above for me. You know what I'm saying? Those family gatherings that we will have, you know what I mean? My family, we party for everything. Oh, it's 60 degrees today, party. 61 degrees today, party. You know what I mean? It was was always at our house, or we was always at somebody else's house. And so you know what I mean? That family life, that family gathering, the food, you know, saying the loud talking, the music being played and stuff like that, people dancing, you know, the fellas over here in this corner and this over here in this corner, and you know what I'm saying, just the whole thing when it came down to family, man, those were those good times. Good times for me, especially now. You know, I don't know. Let me see if I get my shirt together. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, we have feelings too.
Y'all do.
Yeah.
It blurred out.
We feel hungry.
We have feelings too. You know what I mean? We have feelings too.
That's the emotion my son expresses all the time: hunger.
That's right. So you know what I mean. You know, we got feelings too. So those family situations, man, you gonna make sure you gonna eat. You gonna eat. So you know what I'm saying. I love it, man. I love it. It's one thing I want to say to both of y'all, Fancy and Shayla. I knew you, but knew of you, Flo, in high school, because we still didn't run in a like circle together and everything. And Shayla, for you is that college life. Right. So that's your early 20s and things like that, and you before 20s. And to see and to know you guys at that particular time and to see you today, just here on this panel, the strength that both of you have and the calmness that both of you have. You know what I'm saying? Both of you are some beautiful women. You're doing a great job in life. You know what I'm saying? Especially being moms and single moms, right? You know what I mean? Because I talked to both of you and things like that. I just wanted to say, man, you know, thank you for being pillars of this society in the circles that y'all are running in and stuff like that. And beautiful women. Y'all are beautiful women.
Thank
so,
you. Thank you, Reggie.
That's that sensitive side. Don't y'all go with that crying and shit like that. Because I know Herb is thinking of some shit right now. He about to talk some shit right now. He's just trying to figure out the exact way to say it.
am I gonna get him before I jump in?
As we come down to the end of this podcast, Shayla, create your perfect marching band from the front to back, from the band directors all the way back to the percussionists. Where would you get them from? If it's just one band, if you would get the section from a particular band, or if you get a particular person from each section, build your perfect marching band.
Mm-hmm. So I thought about this because I've watched other podcasts. I've been watching it to just make sure y'all didn't make me fall for the okie doke or something. But I'll say this: my perfect band, my perfect marching band, based on the emotions that I had and the camaraderie, would probably be Kentucky State University Thoroughbred Marching Band, circa 2001, going into 2002, under the direction of Timothy Chambers. We had a blast, looking at us then and looking at us now, like how we've all grown up and done positive things with our lives. You can't replace that. So I would say that band that I participated in 2001, fall 2001, going into spring 2002 when I graduated.
Okay, that's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up. You're the first person that used your whole entire college band.
Yeah.
Everybody have pieced it together from different bands or different type of group. You said the whole 2001.
The whole band. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't change it for a world. I mean, like, we were a little band with a big heart, but we were friends. We were cool, and if something was going to happen to somebody, we all were down to make sure, that person was protected. So
that's right. Yeah. That was one of the ideas that I had when I got there to K-State. Like, I come from the King House, and Flo will tell you, we didn't play that shit. You know what I'm saying? We were a family, a tight-knit group of marching band students and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. And a bunch of misfits. A lot of us was grown before our time. You know what I mean? And there was a lot of misfits in that band. But coming to K-State, I couldn't understand why it was so separate. Mm-hmm. Why the band was so separate. So that was the first thing that I said that I will get together, is that, if I'm gonna be in this band, I'm gonna have to build it the way that the King House was, and from the inside out. And that was my first thing that I started working on was, okay, how do we get everybody on that level, what you're talking about right there? How do we get everybody on that level? When you were talking earlier, we KK side, you ain't fucking with our sisters, bro. You know what I'm saying? We protect these right here. We may not like their ass on that other side.
Right.
But we out in public.
In public, we together. Reggie, I don't know if you remember, Reggie, what we were about to fight on y'all. Like there was somebody in the band trying to do some foolishness, and we were pulled over into landings. And I mean, I'd never been in a fight before, but we were going to fight for y'all. I don't know what we were fighting over, but we were going to take care.
You never can tell with us.
It's been a couple times we was about to fight. Don't even know why.
Don't know why, but it was like they're gonna fight. Oh, we showing up too.
You can never tell with us. Hey,
we were ready.
And it's always around her some type of way.
But it don't be me though. I just be down.
Oh man, no. But that was wonderful, man. Shayla, thank you for being on this panel and doing this with us and everything. We really appreciate you being here.
Mm-hmm. Thank you all, and I just wish y'all blessings on further podcasts. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Talk to you later.